get in.
So there is a demand,
There
but
is a demand.
there are very few people
There-
who
yes.
are opting for the...
Yes, very few.
Okay. What is the future of the media industry, do you think, in Goa?
The future to me looks good because now look, we just started a new paper
Yeah.
and we're doing very well there, and newspapers in general in India are still doing very well,
Okay.
right? Both English as well as vernacular, they are growing. They're still in that growth mode. It's not like abroad, maybe in Europe or even in America's way. It's slowly shrinking. As more and more people start moving on to the internet,
Yes.
then newspapers will start shrinking, and then newspapers have a problem finding avenues for revenue, right? So these are the problems that tend to hit a newspaper together, and it's difficult. But in India, it's still growing, so there is no problem. That's growing. Television's growing. The media is in an expansion sort of mode, So there is a future. Two is, even if we move away from newspapers and say we eventually move towards the websites, or we move to the apps that you have on, which basically gather all the information from websites and television, the journalist cannot be taken out of the equation.
Okay.
The journalist will always be there. You will always require someone to go out there and collect the news and bring it back to the office. You will need someone to sit and process that news and put it onto the website. You'll need someone to get your photographs. You'll need someone to do your interviews. So the journalist cannot be taken out of this equation. It's just that the nature of his work might change. Yeah. And as these three platforms develop, that is newspaper, internet, and mobile develop, there was a stage when organizations were started experimenting with what is known as convergence. That is, you take this one journalist and you train him to do a little bit of television, little bit of radio, little bit of internet, and a little bit of the mainstream. That would be the newspaper. And there was talk about this whole multimedia journalist and all that. Now there's less and less talk about that because it's very difficult, and the mediums and platforms are so diverse and so different that it's very difficult, right? Sometimes, yes, today, like, we send a reporter out, he will have to get the story, and if he has a mobile camera, he'll get some photographs also for us. Yeah. So the journalist will always be there, irrespective of how people consume news or other media. You can't take the journalist out. So there will always be scope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Besides journalism, do you think there are any other career prospects for media graduates in Goa?
Those doing in Goa, I'd say those who come out with this, they either get into journalism. Those who do, either mass media, or those who want to very specifically get into journalism will do journalism.
Okay.
The others tend to, when they're not very sure, do mass media.
Yeah.
Mass media gives them scope in, as I said, in television, maybe even a little bit of newspapers. But many of them can get into PR. Okay, that is becoming another a big career opportunity at the moment for those who do mass media. But again, there is a little specialization that you need to do after that.
Okay.
Maybe a 1-year course, maybe 1 year or 2 years. I don't know. I think it's 1 year course, where then you specialize in that, right? Some of them will do a little bit of this and that, and then move from PR to a little bit of event management again.
Okay.
But again, it's a little specialized again, So once you finish this a degree course in mass media, these are the avenues that are really open to you. And if you have, say, a little experience, say a couple of years of experience in either television or or a newspaper, it enhances your value straight away. Then you can move to a bigger city and work in other internet, anything that requires writing, anything that requires connecting with people, no? You can get into that field, right? If you do this and have a little experience. So scope, yes. In Goa, yes, I told you we are looking for people.
Can you comment a little bit about the blogging scene in Goa?
Blogging scene, now I think it has moved to Twitter and to Facebook and those blogs now. There was a time when blogging was really big, yeah. But yes, some newspapers, they tend to attach very important blogs to their internet, to their websites, and yes, it takes up the value of the website, and but at the individual level, blogging, I would say, is can be a hobby, can be a way of expressing yourself, but it's not going to bring you any revenue.
Okay.
Yes, because finally you need to get a job and you need to earn something. Blogging is not the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about content writing? Since that's also in
yes, content writing is also, yes. A lot of things that we do now, so we tend to outsource a lot of stuff. So somebody could write content for. You could be sitting in Goa. See, Goa is a huge brand, right? So you could be writing content for, say, websites. It could be around the world. Could be located in the rest of India. You could be writing tourism related stories for websites outside Goa, which are managed outside the state. So yes, that is one avenue. The other avenue is when you start doing content for newspapers, for magazines, for advertisements, for advertorials, for a lot of things. You could. The more enterprising people, I think, can easily start some sort of a company or based around one or two people, and where you do content for many platforms.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Okay. Would you like to give one advice to young students who are trying to opt for a career in this field?
Yeah, one thing I would like to say is. Don't chase the money.
Okay.
Yes, we all need money to make ends meet and to spend. But if you chase only money, then you will tend to get stuck somewhere, right? Whatever you do is from your first job to your second, to your third, and your fourth. In the initial first, say about 8 to 10 years, or even 8 to 10 was maybe okay with us. With this new generation, 8 to 10 is like a lifetime, Yeah, so maybe in the first 5 years or so, you need to, if you decide you want to go from this job to that job, you need to ask yourself is, how am I enhancing my experience? What is the value I'm adding to myself as a journalist or whatever, mass media or PR or whatever. And you keep on adding that value. Because as you go higher and higher, people are looking for companies are looking, like in the higher positions, we will always be looking for someone who brings in a wider set of skills and who brings in a richer experience in the field.
Okay.
So if you want to eventually go up there, then you need to chase experiences, you need to chase skill building, yes. And then the third part, I would say, is your salary.
Okay.
So this is my advice to people who want to get into this field and move up.
Okay.
Not just stay where you are and be happy because, okay, I'm already getting this huge salary doing this job. Why should I do something more? Then it's okay. You just take the salary and do the job.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why do you think young students should opt for a mass media career over other courses?
There are a lot of careers that you can very, very easily choose,
Okay.
Now, what happens is, suppose you are the kind of person who's interested in expressing yourself, or you like to write, or you like to speak. Many people get involved in this, say, in elocution competitions, and they like to be on stage, they like to be in the limelight. So the question is, how do you take all your likes, all the things that you like to do, and how do you take this entire set and then, kind of focus it on a career, right? Suppose you have all these qualities where you like meeting people, you like writing, you like talking to people, you like, you're interested in information, and then you suddenly go and do, say, engineering, and it's a total mismatch, okay? But if you have this thing that you like, then yes, mass media or journalism is something that will give you that scope and that space to explore these basic qualities. So in that, if you have all this, then I would say, like, you need to get into the mass media, you need to get into journalism, you need to be out there.
Yes.
And the one thing that I think we didn't discuss is you need to have a little sense of like justice. You need to know a little bit of, like, okay, what's happening here is right, or what's happening here is wrong. You need to be able to, if you're the kind of person who, like, you can gather information and you make up your mind about a particular issue, and then you gather more information, and you find that your initial stand is not proper, it's wrong, there's something wrong with it, and if you can change it because of that, then I think you're like the right person for this career.
Okay.
You will fit in very well into this, because what you want to do and who you are exactly matches the requirements of this career.
Okay.
You fit in really very well. So I would say, like, those students who have these qualities, think about this as a profession. Don't be blinded by saying, but will I have enough money? Will it be, that old picture of this journalist, roaming with a cloth bag and kurta and all, that is all gone. That's all, everything is much better. And once you have some experience in Goa, then the entire India is open to you.
Yes.
And once you work, and a lot of, say, the Middle East will open to you. In Singapore, those areas, lots of areas will start opening up to you, right? Where journalists and writers and content generators are all required.
Okay.
Yeah. There is a whole set of, I would say, people from Goa who have worked in newspapers in Goa and who are now, working in newspapers in the Middle East.
Okay.
Yeah, doing different sorts of things. So this is a very good career to get in, because even if you work for 5 years and you feel like, look, I'm okay, this journalism is a little bit too heavy, and you can branch out into any other kind of
Field.
Any other kind of field.
Okay.
So yes, take it up. It's good.
With this, we come to the end of our session for today. I would like to thank Mr. Derick Almeida for sharing his thoughts with us and giving us useful insights on this particular topic. Thank you for watching Crossroads.